Are there any other domestic issues that are either pain points or bright spots for President Trump?
Yeah, one of the biggest changes that we saw was with Russia and Ukraine. So when we asked about the handling of Russia and Ukraine, 27% approve of Trump's handling versus 52% who disapprove. Uh, that's a 10 drop in approval since the March poll. Really, really a staggering number there. Full 30% of Republicans disapprove of how President Trump is handling the war between Russia and Ukraine. That I think is certainly informing some of the overall approval, some of these other numbers that we see here. On the more positive side, and it pains me to say this, but higher education, the way the Trump administration has been handling higher education, and not to take a position here, but working in higher ed, it's we've seen that the administration has taken some actions there, but overall, voters approve of that. 45% approve, 36% disapprove. And interestingly, we actually see higher approval among younger voters than among older voters. So there are some bright spots here for Trump and the administration, but I think overall picture is that a lot of these policies are really not popular, despite President Trump maintaining a reasonably high approval rating overall.
I think it would be really impossible to talk about President Trump's first few months in his second term without talking about Elon Musk's influence. As we know, Elon Musk is the world's richest man. He's still a special government employee. He's also the face of DOGE. Do people and voters approve of him and his approach of essentially taking a chainsaw to the federal government?
Overall, no. And we have seen this as a trend really since Musk first took the position as head of DOGE. I wouldn't necessarily say that voters disagree with the mission of DOGE. We tend to see that folks want to see waste and fraud cut out of government, of course, but they don't necessarily agree with how it's going with DOGE. Don't necessarily approve of Musk overall. So in this poll, 47% disapprove, 41% approve. That is very consistent with what we've seen since Musk started in the role, since the start of the administration. And as I think he looks to take a step back, I would expect that his public image will improve just by virtue of not helming the agency anymore.
Matt, as we know, hindsight really is always 2020, but does anyone have any buyer's remorse? Does any voter, knowing what they know now, would change their vote? If they were a Harris voter, vote Trump. If they were a Trump voter, vote Harris.
Yeah, and this is interesting. So we ask in all of our national polls, who you supported in the 2024 election. So based on that, we asked a question, knowing what you know now, would you change your vote? Would you vote for Harris if you're a Trump voter, or Trump if you were a Harris voter? And we found that by and large, neither would change their vote. So 93% of Harris supporters would still support Harris, and 94% of Trump voters would still support Trump. I think, we do see a little bit of bleed there in both, and those sort of go to the, I'd vote for another candidate, whether that's third party or some hypothetical candidate, or that they wouldn't vote at all. But overall, we are not seeing this buyer's remorse, as I think has been reported elsewhere. That is not reflected in this poll.
Matt, there are certainly a lot of good numbers in here to look out for. I'm looking out for the next over 1,000 days to see how people view President Trump all throughout that. And I know that Emerson College polling will have numbers about President Trump's approval and everything in between. Thank you so much for joining me. You are welcome back anytime.
Thanks so much. Hope to be back soon.